Hello and welcome to my video blog for Sunday, August the 21st. You know, the president took a page out of the Palin playbook last week and went on a little mini bus tour. Now, while he was out on this bus tour, everyone began to speculate. Is he campaigning? And then they started to speculate, what's this jobs package he's going to come back with in September? And then it hit everyone. Wait a minute. The man's going on vacation, and people became incensed, and no one was more enraged than Sarah Palin as she went to Fox News and she sounded off saying, listen, he can't hear the people rumbling in the heartland like I can. So now this means that Sarah Palin has a second superpower. Not only can she see Russia from her window, she can hear the rumblings of the people in the heartland like an Apache Indian. Then there's Donald Trump. Now he had to sound off about the president going on vacation and that he wasn't happy about it. And he pointed out that, listen, this President Barack Obama has gone on more vacation days than George W. Bush at the same time in his presidency. Nope. George W. Bush around this time in his presidency had taken 180 vacation days according to CBS News. President Obama has only taken 61. But that didn't stop Donald Trump from talking. He kept giving his 2 cents all this week, talking about the Republican Party, talking about how he doesn't like President Obama, talking about our economy, talking. Now, since he's given his 2 cents, and he's entitled to, he's a citizen, he pays his taxes, the man can speak and say whatever he wants to say. But I also got to give my little 2 cents, because Donald Trump loved the TV show. Hey, obviously made a name for yourself, doing very well in business and finance and real estate. Wouldn't it make sense for the man to actually come out and maybe give us a little bit of sound advice about industry, about small businesses, about things pertaining to the market, stuff that you would know about? I think that's what they call staying in your lane. But I digress. I got to get back to the president and what I like to call Operation Save a Black Man. And I think it's time that the president went a little Hollywood. You know, kind of like that movie Wag the Dog. Remember that movie? That was where Robert De Niro hired Dustin Hoffman's character to come in and help the White House reboot its image after this really big scandal. Well, I think, our current presidency should maybe do kind of sort of the same thing. They should get out there and go Hollywood. Bring Sassy back. Do something with that hair. Get rid of all those gray hairs. Call up Jose or Chaz or somebody and, get them to look like specks or little glimpses of highlights. Yeah, don't get rid of all of it. Just little glimpses of highlights. Then he needs to get a good publicist. Like, I like the whole jobs committee thing or team. That's needed. You got to do that. But you also need to get a good publicist. Look at the Kardashians. They get good press. You need to do the same. Find out who's their publicist. Then you need to change up the playlist. Get rid of that Kumbaya and put in the theme from Rocky. Now, I know it's hard for the president because he's biracial and he's always looking to bridge together both sides in unison. But, now's the time you got to unleash that inner dragon and get the fight going. Maybe call up Mike Tyson. Find out how he's able to go from 0 to 60 and then rein it back in again. Or in other words, maybe call up Sugar Ray Leonard, because I think he does a better job of it. Yeah, find out how he's able to fight and be competitive, but still maintain his inner core of who he is. That's what you got to do, because come 2012, they're going to be at you. Coming at you. And I got your back, Mr. President, but I can only do so much. You got to help me out. So Operation Save a Black Man is in effect. Because they're coming at us and they keep coming back. People like, I don't know, Christine O'Donnell. Now, last year, back in October, I called her a squirrel. But she's more like a cat with 9 lives. And that she's out now talking about her new book called Troublemaker. And her book promotion tours kind of reminded me of that board game Trouble. You know, where you move around the board and then all of a sudden you may land into a spot where it's like, ooh, looks like trouble. And that's what happened to her. She was out on her book tour and she was moving all about, and then she landed up on Piers Morgan's show where it was like, ooh, looks like trouble. Now in the beginning, they got along great. They were talking about past, talking about when, you know, she used to be a witch, but then she wasn't a witch, you know, because, hey, listen, it's way more cooler to be a vampire anyway. I mean, look at Colin Farrell. He's kind of hot. So, anyway, they did the whole thing. They talked about that. And then all of a sudden, Piers Morgan, oh, yeah, he went and did it. And he was wondering, why are you acting so weird? Well, the reason why she was acting so weird was because you brought up homosexuality. Now, little did he know that homosexuality to a Republican is like kryptonite. You want to bring them down, bring it up. Bring up any issue on homosexuality and they will crumble. Their voices will start to crack. They start to sweat. And then suddenly, they gotta go. They gotta go. Yeah. And nobody found this out other than Kathy Griffin. She also found out the same thing, apparently. And that she was on Conan's show and she was talking about how she confronted Michelle Bachman and called her a bigot. And she was really surprised by her reply saying that, I'll get back to you. Now, apparently, Bachman probably said, I'll get back to you because you couldn't see her. You know, especially if you go by that cover of her on Newsweek with the crazy eyes. Yes, Michelle Bachman had a horrible week. Not only did she have a jacked up photo on Newsweek with some crazy eyes staring at the sky, then she actually said, happy birthday, Elvis! But it wasn't his birthday. It was the anniversary of his death. Oops. Big mistake. Then there's the story about the people in her security team roughing up the press. You know, pushing them and shoving them and keeping them back from talking to her. You know, oh, it just wasn't a good week for Michelle. It just wasn't a good week. But don't worry, the sun will come out tomorrow. Remember that from Annie? Yeah, little Annie. She had crazy eyes too. Little orphan Annie. Now the press, they love things that are new. They love new things just like people do. Yeah, we like a new car, we like a new house, we like a new bike. I want a new bike. And the press, they love a new candidate, and they got a new candidate. They got one, and Rick Perry. Rick Perry from Texas is in the race. And everybody in the press was happy that Rick Perry is here. So Mitt Romney got pushed aside because we got a shiny and brand new toy to play with, and Rick Perry. And everybody was playing with the toy and bouncing it on his lap and having a good time with it. Then all of a sudden, Rick Perry sucker punched Ben Bernanke of the U.S. Treasury. And everyone was like, what? What? Where'd that come from? Now, he happened to hit him out of left field when he said that Bernanke's printing of money was like treason. Now everyone is going back and trying to read the instructions on that toy to figure out, okay, were we supposed to wind it up or slow it down or use batteries? I mean, it's a crazy situation. So let's do a little bit of Republican wrap up. Let's see where we are. Now, as of last week, last Saturday, Tim Pawlenty, he's out. Rick Perry, he's in. Michelle Bachman, she's focused. Mitt Romney, he's shuffling. And Sarah Palin, well, she's just following the yellow brick road. I'll see you next time.